Hello, welcome to task 42, which is part 2 of the holes project. We are going to start not by creating a new document, but by opening task 41. We're going to work off of this project that we had made in 41. So let's just take a minute to copy the workspace and rename it as task 42 with your name. And I'm going to choose owned by me, open the file, and put it in my classwork folder. So that is where I am going to copy the project to. And now here I am, task 42 with my name, Ayala. So I am actually going to start by rolling back our final step, which was the extrude here. I want to see the entire block before we cut it in half, like that. The rollback lets you kind of go back in time. So if we wanted to, we could bring back that last step, but I would like to roll it back because you're going to see, we're going to be able to get a pretty good look at our holes anyway. So now that we have our whole block, we are going to create a drawing from this part. There are two ways to do that. I can right click on part 1 and choose create drawing of part 1. Or you can also insert a new tab here with the plus sign and choose create drawing. So I find it a little bit more efficient to choose create drawing of part 1. And I would like the 4 views. So we get a nice multi-view drawing. And here we see the top, the front, the side, and the three-dimensional view. So we've seen this multi-view many times. I would like to start by making a cross section, by making a section view. So the section view tool is over here, and it's going to prompt you to show, would you like to make a section view with a vertical line, a horizontal line, which is like this, or an angular line, so some kind of slope. We are going to choose a horizontal line, and we're going to use it to make a nice cross section of this block. So we're basically telling it, we want you to divide the block right along this line, and that generates for us a front view of what this would look like if we could see inside the block right at that line that we drew. So we're going to basically use this instead of the traditional front view. So I'm actually going to remove the original front view and put this one here in place. So we're basically getting a front view with all of the hidden lines showing. Okay, so now that we have those pieces, let's go ahead and make some annotations. We're going to annotate with dimensions. You are very familiar with the dimension tool. Here it is. Let's start by showing the general length, width, and height of the block. So if I hover over the side of the front view and click down, I can move my mouse out and find a spot where I can show the height. That looks good to me. Same thing if I think I'm going to actually have to go from one side to another here. I'm going to go the entire span of the width, and I'm lifting the 6 up a little bit high because I know I'm going to have some dimensions to define underneath it. So I'm putting my 6 up fairly high, and I wouldn't want to leave out the depth, so we can show that here, or we can show that here. How about here? 2 inches is the depth of the block, right? And now that we've done the length, width, and height, why don't we talk about the positioning of the holes? The first thing we're going to need is to put in the center lines. So let's get this 2-point center line tool. And we're going to show where we want it by clicking on the left side and the right side of a hole. So here's the right, here's the left. Oh, that was not what I wanted. Let me try to go back. Yeah. I see, I want the edge to edge center line. I picked the wrong one, sorry. Edge to edge center line. So here if I click on one edge, it actually kind of sees where the center is going to be. So that's the center, that's showing the center of the simple hole. And here's the center of our first counterbore hole. And I'm also going to show the center of the top. Here's the center of the countersink hole. I'll also go from here to here. And let's get the center of the second counterbore hole and its top as well. So we get a good sense of where the centers are of all the holes. And that is going to be very helpful in terms of defining the distance that the holes are from each other, because we measure the placement of the hole by its center. So we're going to say that the center of the first hole is 3/4 of an inch away from the edge here, right? Since there isn't a lot of room between all the lines, let's move our 0.75 outside of the figure. I think that'll be a nice way to clearly show the distance. Let's now show the distance from the center of hole 1 to the center of hole 2. And again, it is a little cluttered here. Why don't we again go like this so we can kind of line up our dimensions. Do the same thing on this side. We'll find the center of the rightmost hole and define its distance. Oh wow, this red dotted line is really helping us line up our dimensions so they look pretty neat. And I'm going to click on the center of the countersink hole, the center of the rightmost hole, and I think I'll do what I did before. Wait a minute. That's not what I want. I'll define this here. Okay. So we have all of our distances here. We have our height, we have our width, we have the placement of all of the holes. Next, we're going to have to make some hole notes about the definition of each type of hole. So the hole notes tool is over here. It's called the hole thread callout. And every time we click on a hole and we pull away a little bit, we get one of these callout lines. That's just another way of defining a dimension. So here's our through hole, our simple hole, which happens to be a through hole. Here's our leftmost counterbore hole. Here's the right-hand counterbore hole. And here is our countersink hole. Great. So I have all of my dimensions looking good. Let's take a look at this block. I'm going to just click on the whole notes tool to show that I'm done using it. So this block has some things we can do to show our holes a little bit better. If we choose show hide, sorry, I should say we're going to right click on the three-dimensional figure. We're going to click on show hide and float over here to show hidden lines. That's kind of a nice way to see what's inside. And again, if I right click on that three-dimensional view and choose show hide, I can also choose show shaded view, because the shading also gives us some information about how the figure looks. So we have, I think, added a lot of information to explain what this project is and how it's developed. The last thing to do is to put your name on the drawing. So I double clicked down here. I'm going to press delete to delete these dots, and I'm going to write in my name. You can write in yours. And I'm going to double click on the next line, and we'll call it task 42. Accept. And then we're going to note the date, which is December 18th, 2024. Okay. So this concludes task 42. It's a little blueprint project. Good luck with it, and let me know if you have any questions.